onboard camera, that one has no power to it.
You can see some tape going on the front grill there. That again is to control temperatures. As the outside and the ambient temperature drops, the air going into the engine goes down, which means the engine's going to be operating cool, and you got to keep it, in a certain window. So that tape's going to go on now. They'll probably add more later tonight, and then have to start peeling it off once the sun comes up and the temperature comes up.
And the only reason I said that about the onboard camera is that it's one of those deals. I don't know how it's powered. I would think by an ancillary battery source that's not involved with the car. But it wouldn't be the first time that someone had a problem with an onboard camera during a pit stop when perhaps there are things going on inside the car that others shouldn't see.
I've never seen somebody lose.
I'm not sure what you're referring to.
There's my conspiracy theory.
Again, I know.
Interesting. Full caution is out for the LMP35. Yeah, they're checking something at the back of that Corvette. It is not a standard service anymore. That is for sure.
You would come in and do your standard service because you can't work on the car while the service is going on. So they would come in, do the standard service, do the driver change, and then if there's an issue, take care of it. And I'll go back to it didn't look like it was at speed to me the way it should be, and now that the service is done, 4 guys can jump on it and try to solve the problem.
And a little bit of help for them with this caution. They're going to slow the field down. They will not lose quite as much time. Still not ideal, obviously, as we see the BMW get pushed behind the wall. Obviously, more damage to that right front from that tire than originally thought.
Well, let's get a little happier then. This situation is not good for either one of those race cars. How about down in the Peacock pit box, Vanessa? Marcus Ericsson looks like he's had a decent time so far at the Rolex 24.
Yeah, he's driving that #2 Cadillac in the DPI class for Chip Ganassi Racing. Marcus, you're a seasoned vet when it comes to racing, but this is your first endurance race. What's it been like so far?
It's been a lot of fun, but obviously a lot to learn. Like you say, I've never done any endurance racing or any racing at all with a car with a roof on, so it's been a lot of things to sort of learn and try and understand, but a lot of fun, and to be able to race with Cadillac Racing, with Chip Ganassi Racing is just an amazing opportunity. So I'm trying to just soak everything in and enjoy.
We were talking when you came up here about how this compares to an IndyCar, and you were saying they drive somewhat close.
Yeah, it's not a million miles away, I would say. They are pretty similar in lap times. I would say the DPI car is a little bit more user-friendly. You have a bit more assist in a DPI car compared to an IndyCar. The IndyCar is a bit more brutal. But overall, I would say it's pretty similar driving style. So for me, being a full season IndyCar driver, to start the season off with this event is perfect preparation for that season as well.
Well, and Alexander Rossi had also said last week that this is kind of like an NFL preseason game for full-time IndyCar drivers because you get warmed up, you shake the dust off. Do you find that to be true?
I wouldn't call the Daytona 24 Hours a preseason game. Like it's one of the biggest races in the world. Sure. So it's, but it's definitely like it's a sort of knock the rust off sort of event for us IndyCar drivers because we've been out of the race cars for quite long, since September. So it's definitely it's a good way to start up our season. But
this is the worst wall out of any race.
Big race. Just to be part of it. It's very special, I think.
So you said you've never done a race before. Why this one? Why start with the biggest, one of the biggest ones?
No, but since I came to America 3 years ago, I've been, this been one of the things on my list to do the 24 hours at Daytona. And I've been working quite hard to get an opportunity. And now when Chip announced that they were going to do 2 cars now with Cadillac, I got my foot in and am part of a great lineup. We have 2 extremely strong cars and lineups. So. Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far, and hopefully we can have a really strong finish for Cadillac and Chip Ganassi Racing.
Well, we just had Elio Castroneves up here. He said, I'm from Brazil. I'm not used to all this cold. He was freezing. But you're from Sweden, so are you a little more accustomed to this cold, and do you think that's an advantage?
Yeah, I mean, today it was like a summer day in Sweden.
No,
it was
caution.
Can I put my shorts on and t-shirt? But
it's
a bit chilly, but yeah, it's probably about the same temperature.
None of us can get straight
right now, so it's yeah, perfect.
I just made a vote. I just made a note on my phone to not visit Sweden.
No, it is quite nice in the summer. We only have like 3 months of summer, but them 3 months are good.
So real quickly,
Deluxe turned sideways. It was like,
how are you going to manage these 24 hours with your sleep, your eating, all of that?
Yeah, so next time I'm in the car, I think it's around midnight, so it's another another few hours until then, so I'm gonna go back to my RV now and try and get a little bit of sleep, not so much, and then you know we're gonna be in the car for a couple of hours, and then hopefully get a bit more sleep before my last stint in the morning. So yeah, I'm sort of learning, trying to lean on my teammates there with Bamber and Dixon and Bourdais and Renger and these guys that have more experience than me, and some of them say, yeah, you should sleep as much as possible. Some say, oh, you cannot sleep too much because you get too tired. And so I don't know. I just have to see how I feel, I guess, and just try and be ready every time I go in the car.
All right, Marcus Ericsson, thanks so much. We're going to go to Dylan Welch, who has more on that number 4 Corvette behind the wall.
And we did see him on pit road, and they were repairing a diffuser issue with some damage from that last restart, and then the car wouldn't fire. They had problems getting it refired. It eventually did, I believe, but they thought maybe it was just too low on fuel when it came in. So a little bit of some issues to sort out down here in the Corvette camp, but I think they did get it right.
And guys, that's big because the 4 is one of the 2 Corvettes that's only running the endurance races this year.
Yep.
So this is one of 3. Wait, 3 or 4? 4. Thanks. Sebring and Watkins Glen. And Petit Le Mans. Yeah, I can count. So,
right.
So if 25% of your racing in the year is gone the wayside here, that's not a good thing, but hopefully they'll get it fired back up. This was the other car we saw stop. This is Rasmus Lind.
That's Gabby Chavez, Jared Andretti in that car, also sharing it with Rasmus Lind and Josh Burton, and they were leading for a long time. Yeah, they won at the Roar and were leading here for quite a while, so I'm not exactly sure where that is, but obviously it has no power to it. I don't see any light on in the cockpit or anything like that. No one's trying to refire it. Rasmus Lind was behind the wheel.
There you see the driver lineup. Jared, son of the late John, and Nancy, who we spoke to earlier with Jeff Burton down there. Mom Nancy was on the pit box watching over things early on, and Jarrett was behind the wheel.
It's like they can't decide if they want to try to start it or tow it. They're just sort of all looking at what to do with it.
Someone needs to take charge, Hinch.
The number 9 is taking charge of GTD Pro. Jack Campbell behind the wheel. And number 9 Porsche, the plaid Porsche.
Yeah, but
doing Canada proud.
He's due for a stop here. That's for sure. I mean, the other car stopped on 193, 194, and he stopped back on 162. So that lead's going to go away soon.
Mentioned the plaid Porsche. They sat down and chatted with us a little bit last week about their rise to the top in IMSA.
Faf Porsche wins. They win and extend their championship lead.
2019, we originally planned to just do the Sprint Cup that year because it was a new thing in 2019.
We really launched into the 2019 season, basically everybody completely green, so to speak.
As the season wore on, we grabbed wins at Lime Rock and America, which was incredible. So we went into 2020 thinking, okay, we might have actually a shot at least contending for a championship, and that was the goal in 2020.
Here we go, look at this for the lead in GTD, Porsche and BMW. This is good stuff.
We were actually so heartbreaking to break that axle in the middle of the night in 2020, which kind of took us out, and then COVID happened. It was so hard to sit at home and watch the races from home and not be here competing.
I'm sorry, dude.
Of course, we still had those.
I don't know what happened there either, because it looked like you just clicked the wall with your right front, and then it just caught you, and then I tapped you. So I didn't. Yeah, because I didn't know what happened. I'm like, there's no way I could have dumped you right there.
Pretty much everything but the pace car, and didn't have a great result. And had to follow it up with a win at Sebring.
Yeah, you can give me one. That's fine.
We had a little bit of hiccups along the way. But
not like you've never given
so
me
we knew
one.
we had what it took. We had to get back in the groove in the summer months.
That run we went on was, it was also for each other, for Zach and for Lawrence, for Lars. Like, we all wanted to achieve our dream together as a group.
Canadian team Pfaff Motorsports, Lawrence Vantor and Zach Robichon are champions in GT Daytona.
I think I can say from the second half of the season, we were the team to beat. Everybody in that group can be very proud of what we achieved there together, and that's short amount of time.
Leslie, can you hear me?
Yeah, pretty amazing. Total last year and the championship. Hinch, your countrymen, did make you very proud.
They sure did. You know, it's an incredible group of people. They don't have a huge full-time staff. They have a lot of part-time people that come in for these race weekends, but this is just a great group. It's like we were talking about earlier, guys. Racing's about people. And Steve Bortolotti, who kind of runs the team there for Chris Pfaff, has done an incredible job of getting a great group, and the results speak for themselves.
How about a large staff going to work on the Corvette here? Probably everyone on hand for this team that has been so successful in IMSA, now trying to repair the 4-car, the silver Corvette.
He's thinking about it. I want the bank.
It was the under tray, it was the diffuser that was the issue. No.